Take me through that type of pressure when it comes to grades.
But it teaches you from a young age to prioritize what's important.
Give this parent advice.
I think just communicating that to your child.
So yeah, take me through those social pressures and
It's inside your head. No one's forcing you.
boys that are gambling at the age of 17. How are they getting that right?
I actually want to try it out, and then they start trying it on, and then they get addicted.
What do you guys do to convince these guys?
So when we started, I remember we made like intro video.
You realized your project and the work you do actually mattered.
When they were choosing, you obviously feel like,
Other kids play when they see bullying, so it doesn't get worse.
My dad has always been very big on stopping bullying. He got into so many fights because he was trying to stop bullying.
Talk about the project starting because you were depressed. You went through a situation.
my life just started going down. I got to the top of the hill and just went,
What small habits do you think for this new year?
just enjoy it.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Endure Edge. We're officially in January and everyone is back and working. So I hope you guys happy 2026. Wow, can you believe that? Today is a really special episode. I've got two young lads for me from probably the best school in Johannesburg. They go by the black and white. They are the Jeppe Boys. How's it, guys?
How's it? Yeah.
Welcome back. Please excuse my voice today. If it does go a little bit squeaky, guys listening, I was at an event shouting loud. So, yeah. Thank you for being on the Endure Edge.
Of course.
And the reason they're here today is these two young men are part, and there's a lot of other boys that are part of it too, are part of a mental health project at Jeppe Boys that they started up themselves. Guys, can I ask you, can you introduce yourselves? Okay, who's going to go first?
Okay, I'll go first. I'm Milan. I helped, me and two other guys started Project Izwi. I don't know. What else
Cool.
to say?
How's it? I'm Jared. So I heard Milan started Project Easy. I'm quite passionate about mental health nowadays, so I grabbed a few of my other mates, forced them to join. Now we're just carrying on the project that Milan started.
Guys, it's so awesome to see at such a young age that you guys are running with a project for mental health. In your case, men's mental health, teenager boys' mental health. It's so awesome that it's starting at such a young age. Milan, what made you start? Am I saying correctly? Project Izwi.
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 Yeah.
Okay. What does Izwi mean?
So Izwi in isiZulu means voice.
Voice. Okay.
Voice, which is basically what we want to give people, because sometimes because my initial ideology, because when I started going to therapy, it helped, but it wasn't for me, right? And I know for a lot of other people, therapy isn't also for them. So our initial goal was to help people help themselves by giving them the tools that they need. But the idea of how it started was almost like, I know, okay, and so do the guys who helped me started, is I know that our generations, like the new generation now, they struggle with a lot, like suicide, depression, and I feel like that stems from a lack of purpose. I think purpose is a very important thing to not only your self-esteem, but your confidence and just your life in general. Because when you lack purpose, you lack motivation to do anything, and that leads to depression, and then that can lead to suicide. So I think giving people a purpose is the most important thing to me. Because when I was in my depressive stage, okay, that was what Project Izwi was. It was a way for me to provide purpose into my life again. And that's how it basically started, in a way.
Wow, where did this maturity come from at such a young age? Like, while you're talking, I'm sitting here thinking back to when I was 18 years old in matric or grade 11. We weren't mature like this. Wow, it's amazing. That's, for you to have looked at that like that. So you talk about the project starting because You were depressed. You went through a situation. Give us a little background about that, please, Milan.
So at the start of grade 11, okay, grade 11 is a hard year. Okay, I won't say it's more difficult than matric, but it's on par with it. At the start of grade 11, my parents split. Okay, and that was because of like very hectic reasons. But that left me in a state. I was happy that it happened, but it kind of made me feel weird because I went to school and everyone treated me the same. And it's weird how that works out, because something drastic has happened to you, but no one cares about it. But I think at the start of grade 11, my life just started going like down, like fast. It was like I got to the top of a hill and just went, and then like I stopped sleeping, I stopped eating. My friends abandoned me because I just wasn't talking anymore. And they kept asking me like, "Wow, we're here for you." And I'm like, I just don't want to talk about it. And then there was one teacher, okay, Mr. Riskovitz. I hope he's watching this, but he kind of, I won't say forced me, but he kept like pestering me. Yo, you should go to therapy, go to therapy, go to therapy. And I'm like, it's just not for me. I don't want to go. And then eventually I was like, let me just give it a shot. Okay, I can get this guy off my back. And I went to Nikita. And the first session went so well because I just sat there and she was talking and I was like, she kept asking me like, so are you going to talk? I'm like, no, I'm good. It was the second session where she asked me, it was a one question. I don't know what it was, but she asked me something. And then I kind of opened up a little bit. But the moment I opened up, I was like, that was actually easy. And I just kept doing it. And then about June, during midterms exams, that was when my life like switched. And I was like, I actually feel so much better. And then I realized that if I can feel this good about myself, I want other people to feel as good about themselves, which is Project Easy, which is what I want to do for other people.
And all it was is because you opened up and started talking.
Yeah.
You used your voice.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost feels like a weight lifted off your shoulders.
100%, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Jared, tell us a little bit about your experience with Project Easyway.
So one thing I do want to say is that I heard Noah, which is the other guy that helped Milan start Project Easy. When I heard they started this project, I was quite keen on joining. I was very passionate on joining because I've had a lot of friends and family members go through depression, stages where they self-harm and things like that. And seeing them struggle through those things made me realize that, there's a lot more people out there that are exactly like that are going through something that's mentally challenging and that's hard for them to go through. So I joined Project Easy to try get a better understanding of things like that and to try help people, as Milan wanted to, or when he started this, to help people have a different kind of therapy, because there's multiple ways of therapy, like talking about it, music, dance, like things like that. And I just really wanted to help people. That's what I'm quite passionate about.
Okay, boys, so take me through this. You guys have started this club, okay, which is amazing. Okay, but looking back to when I was your age, someone started a club like this, I'd be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you convince your peers, your
So-
friends? Easy, okay, maybe your direct friends, it's very easy to convince to be part of this, but the other guys, how do you convince the grade 10s, the grade 11s to be part of this? Come to a fellowship, if that's what we call it. What do you guys do to convince these guys?
So when we started, I remember we made like a little like intro video and we played it in assembly, and I saw my face up there and I was like, oh, I want to leave. But surprisingly, okay, especially in an all-boys school, you'd think like there'd be no one, you'd just be bullied, right? But
Yeah, you'd be labeled almost as
Exactly.
a nerd for starting a mental health club.
But
Because it's not the cool thing to do.
what happened was we had a boy, Caden Bowie. He passed away. And initially there was like no feedback. But after that happened, there was just like a shift in our school where it was just quiet. And I think that's when people started realizing like therapy is important. Like mental health is really important, because it wasn't like, oh, okay, only his direct friends were affected. It was like the entire school, even if you didn't know the guy, it was like one of our brothers isn't here. And that's a weird feeling. Like, you know, for the rest of the year that his desk is always going to be empty. And that's such a bad feeling to have. But I think that kind of boosted it. And then people started getting that exposure, kind of helped like propel it into where it is now, where people are like, okay, well, there's actually some good advice here. And they start taking that advice and putting it into their own lives.
Sure.
I want to add on to that as well. So
Please.
during that time that JP went through with losing one of our brothers, the other day we had a lesson with Mr. Riskovitz, an F&D lesson where we, discussed things about the school and things like that. And the one thing he did say is during that time, a lot of boys who actually looked like down on therapy actually started going to therapy, because that's shifted their minds, and that actually brought back either trauma or something that they held in because they thought therapy wasn't for them, in a sense. So I feel when something happens, that's when Project Easy really took its, turning point to growing.
So there's obviously good and bad times in a school when it comes to pupils. Do you find that the boys almost forget about it when the things are going well? Or is there a constant reminder to them? What do you guys do?
I feel like when we were at a rugby game, like we have an event called Jeppe Boys, best event of the year. Okay? But even then, when on our stands where we stand, there's a little olive tree, okay, which was planted in memorial of Caden, and it's like he's always with us. But also
I've got goosebumps.
yeah, it's how many minutes is it?
10 minutes into the second team game.
10 minutes into the second team game, everyone just starts clapping. And it's like just a constant reminder. So even when things are going well, it's not like people forget about it, because I think his passing kind of inspired people to actually appreciate their lives. And you can see that in our school. Like after it happened, our school's like a lot brighter, like boys are actually like trying hard, like in sports and stuff, especially academics. Like academics have gone, in the last 5 years, it's gone up.
I'm glad you brought up academics, but that is an amazing story, how you guys just start clapping at the 10 minutes. Yeah. On academics, what kind of pressure do the boys feel around grades at the school? I mean, if I'm getting bad grades, that's going to make me depressed. I'm going to be worried constantly. Like, how do you guys assist with that type of thing? I mean, at the end of the day, I might not be studying. Yeah. I mean, that's what my grades are about. But the pressure's there. I've got pressure from my parents. My friends are looking down on me because I might be failing maths or English, whatever the subject is. Take me through that type of pressure when it comes to grades.
So, especially with Jeppe, I'm kind of like singing their praises, but Jeppe in grade 8, they force you to do a sport every single term. Because grade 8 isn't that hectic of a year. You just have your subjects and you have the sports. But it teaches you from a young age to prioritize what's important. Like, when you have to train, you have to train. When you have to study, you have to study. But especially like when I was in matric, when I didn't have any sport, it was very difficult to find that balance again. So I had to like force myself to go to the gym and stuff just to stay active. But with the pressures of academics, right, the school does a really good job of providing, whether it's like extra lessons or there's a new thing that one of my friends started last year called the Academic Support Program, where it's kids in like grade 12, grade 11 who have gone through the subjects, helping those younger than them on certain like physics or maths. They go through that and they help you from like a boy's perspective. Because a teacher might know the work, but a boy understands it because he has to write the same test. So I think that pressure also gets like alleviated off of like the stress, I guess.
And Jared, you personally, what do you do to help your stress in a healthier way, to turn that into something healthy?
So personally, I'm one of those people who believe in being strong-minded. So basically, it's you who can make that change. It's you who controls your life. It's you versus you, basically. That's like my mindset behind a lot of things. So with, like, I'm gonna go back to what Milan said with the sports and academics. JP forces you or hopes you do a sport every term and a cultural every term. And you still need to manage your academics. So that also teaches you what time management. So what I normally do is, because I'm quite busy at JP, I do sound and lighting. So I'm at JP 24/7. So what I normally do is I always try plan my week ahead. So I don't overcram or I don't stress myself out and I don't go into a position where I'm stuck and I can't move forward. I always plan ahead just so I can see what times I have available and things like that. But I know what a lot of boys do is that they cram last minute, which really puts them into a spiral and then they just lose hope in themselves. And with our academic support system, I feel with the boys, helping other boys, it creates a stronger brotherhood, a stronger connection between us boys. And what JP does is they separate us into classes. So grade 8, grade 9, you're in classes, everyone's mixed, like there's no smarter class, less achiever class, things like that. But from grade 10, you do get a criteria and you get selected into certain classes, but it's mainly just for like science and things like that. So the subjects you take. But I feel like JP is very supportive with their academics and they're very serious about their academics and also sports. So we have to teach ourselves basically how to time manage our academics and sport.
Yeah, that's very important. Otherwise, like you said, it just spirals out of control. Bullying. So I've noticed bullying looks a lot different to when I was in school.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not the dunking their head in the toilet anymore or doing a wedgie with underwear, etc. What form does it take? In what form does it take place now at the moment?
Cyberbullying. I feel like that's a big one because social media is very accessible nowadays. People can just message anyone, follow them, send them a message, take photos of them, put them through AI, which is another big one.
Has that started happening now?
Yeah, and I have read a few cases where boys, like for one example, this kid made an AI video of 2 boys kissing in a class, and then they spread that around the school, and then that kid was just bullied, which was quite bad. Yeah.
How do you think the school can better support students who are feeling targeted or isolated?
That is a tough question.
I feel like maybe the school could get a better understanding of why the bully himself is doing, because bullies, they project. So I know a lot of bullies, what they do is when they go through something and they don't know how to cope or they're too scared to cope with it, they start targeting other people because then the attention's on that other person and not themselves. So it's also, I feel like, a lack of self-esteem. And I feel like what the schools could do is rather try find out what that person's going through. Obviously, like get them to go through like the consequence of their actions and understand what they did was wrong, but also try support them in a way of like, what are you going through that made you do that? What are you going through that, you making another boy feel like that as well? Yeah.
Yeah, because I think, if you probably look into the bully's life, his parents might be getting separated.
Yeah.
He needs to go to therapy. And actually, that's what needs to happen there. This online bullying thing is a bit of an issue. And I don't actually, I don't know how it can be stopped. Because unfortunately, you can't cut off access to the online world there. And the school doesn't actually have control of it.
I think maybe a suitable way of combating like cyberbullying before it happens is, I think, nurturing your kids to have a self-esteem or like to be confident in themselves. Because I feel like if that happens to them, they know that, like, even if you just have a good relationship with your child, they know that if something goes wrong, they can come to you. They can tell you, this is going wrong, I don't know what to do. And you can advise them. You may not have all the answers, but if you can advise them on how to go about it, I think that might help. But it's not going to stop the problem, which is the other person. But it also could help if you know what your child's doing online, and if you see them bullying someone, you're obviously going to discipline them. But I feel like, it's a very difficult.
And AI is not making it easier, like you said.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually crazy.
I feel that one thing, because Google does this thing with parental control, is that for you to have control over your child's device, you have to face scan yourself, and then it reads your face, and then it's like, okay, you are a parent. And I feel then what parents could do, or what, like, let's say Instagram. Let's say I try to log into an Instagram account, but I'm 12. Then it would force me to face scan my face to prove that I'm of age to have a social media account. So I feel like could be something important.
So here's my question. I've got 3 kids. My daughter has just finished matric. She's 18. Lagan is turning 16 next year, going to grade 10. Okay, and then Kyra is 6 years old. My question to you guys, okay, give me advice. Okay, now that you say that. They've obviously got devices, cell phones, iPads, tablets, whatever it is, okay? PlayStation, which is also an online thing where you can talk now to people over the mic, etc. I go and put the parental control on Lagan's device or Reese's device. Does that not show first thing, and I'm asking you, does that not show first, I don't trust you, Lagan. I don't trust you, Reese. Okay, by going out and doing this. Because now I'm monitoring you. So now I've already shown my kid I don't trust them. And it's not that I don't trust them, but somewhere
You just want to protect them.
I want to protect them, but there's also that boundary now. My dad doesn't trust me. I've done nothing wrong, but I've now gone and put this parental thing on. So give me your take on that. Give this parent advice. Because there's parents sitting and going, do I do this or do I not do this?
So if it happened to me, I feel like I would get mad. I would be like, you just don't trust me. Like, I know how to handle myself. But that would have been like 2 years ago. I now know that 2 years ago, I did not know how to handle myself. I would have been, if that happened to me, I would not know what to do. And I think just communicating that to your child, not as a child, but to also just a person, right? Because they are just a person. If you just tell them, like, these are the dangers, okay? These are the consequences if something does go wrong, okay? If you want, I can take it off, but if that happens, then what are you going to do? And I think if they can come up with a pretty good answer, a mature answer, then by all means take it off. But if they can't, which is probably going to happen, then you can say, that's one of the reasons why I have to leave it on there until you're old enough. Give them like a time period on when you're this age, I'll take it off. But for now, I'm just trying to protect you. And I feel like if I was told that I'm trying to protect you, I would understand enough. I wouldn't agree with it, but I would understand enough to not question it again.
So when are you old enough to take it off? Because I'll tell you why I ask that.
Yeah.
I've got a daughter going to university, and I feel I need to put that on even more now because now I don't have control. Before I had a little bit of control.
I think it's the level at which, like, I know I'm on Life 360, which is a good thing to have.
Yeah.
Right. Just so you know where your family is if something goes wrong. But like, to monitor like apps that you download, I feel like that's unnecessary. Like, I don't think there's many apps. It's like on the iStore. I don't know about Samsung, but on the iStore, they sense check all that stuff. But like, hectic parent controls when you're, I'd say, by the age of 17. Okay. They have a year at home before they go to university. You can monitor that, see how they're dealing with it. And then by the time they go to university, if it's going south, then you kind of have to put it back.
Yeah.
But 17, I won't say 16. 16, I feel like, especially for like me, I was just becoming a man. I don't know like how, but 17 is a good age.
Jared, are you being monitored?
I was. So my intake on it is, so I'm going to use my personal life. So my brother's 5 years older than me. He was never really monitored. Him and I got our first phones around at the same age, but he was never monitored. My parents always left him to his own thing because he was quite independent since a young age. Like when he was 8 months old, he was already walking. When he was a year and a half, he was already drawing pictures. I mean, like that guy was doing anything he wanted to, and it's like since the age 10, he's always done his own thing. So my parents never really worried about him. But when I came out, my mom actually thought I wasn't going to make it to matric. My mom actually told me the other day. Oh, she's surprised I'm making it to matric next year. And I was monitored. And I didn't understand because I was like, but I'm not going to do anything stupid. I'm not going to do anything. And recently I've actually thought about it a lot. And I'm like, it was actually good that they did that because it taught me that, I must watch myself online because you have a digital footprint. I mean, whatever you post online, there's millions of copies on different servers around the world. And you must be careful around those things. So I feel like, yes, when your child's young, they're going to be like, oh, but you don't trust me. They're going to feel a bit hurt, but after a while, they are going to realize, actually, that was a good thing. But also, the reason why I mentioned my brother and our differences is because my parents were more worried about me. And I feel like it's just how you grow up, how you manage yourself is where you can actually judge your child and be like, okay, maybe I can actually trust them or maybe I can't trust them. I feel like that's the difference. So if your child's independent and they know what they're doing, I mean, like then they know what they're doing. But if your child's struggling or like needs help or doesn't really know, then I feel like then it's quite important that that parent control gets put into place.
Okay. Thank you, guys. I'll take all that advice in, and I'm sure there's a lot of other parents that are going to watch this that are going to take that advice in. So thank you. Just back to the bullying. What role can other kids play when they see bullying so it doesn't get worse? Let's talk to those people that are the outsiders, because a lot of time I noticed, when there is bullying that happens, people see it, but they don't talk about it. Yeah. They shy away from it. They don't want the confrontation.
I feel so. My dad's has always been very big on stopping bullying. When my dad was in school, he got into so many fights because he was trying to stop bullying. And my brother and I have always been brought up that if you see someone bullying someone else, you step in and you sort it out. Because bullying is something that can really send someone into a spiral and that can really hurt someone's like self-esteem, ego, and things like that. So bullying, I feel like the message I can always tell guys is if you see something happening, you either go to a trusted adult or you try to stop it yourself. But by stopping it yourself, you can always get into a fight, like physical contact and things like that. And, it won't always end good. But if you try to get a trusted adult into it that will actually do something, then you can always stop that bully from doing things, or you can always create like an ethos against bullying. Because I feel like some people, they don't really think of bullying as like a big thing, but it really is quite a massive thing in schools nowadays where students are like really going like suffering because they're being bullied. So I feel like we can make an ethos around that, saying if you bully someone, then you like single them out, basically. Like single them out of an ethos where you're bullying someone that's not right, and make sure they have their consequences.
Don't keep quiet. Don't just let it slide.
Yeah.
If a kid comes to your project, another peer, and says to you, so-and-so is bullying Joe, how do you guys handle that? Do you recommend them to come and talk to you guys when they see stuff like that?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like at our school, bullying is like, I won't say non-existent, but it's very, you rarely see it because the way our school handles bullying is we bully the bully. We pick on them because I don't know, our school, just the way our school teaches us, where, how do I say this?
Treat people the way you want to be treated.
Exactly. Like Jeppe, especially Jeppe, it's a melting pot of different backgrounds, different cultures, different like tax brackets. Like everyone's from everywhere. And I feel like bullying stems from a lack of self-esteem because you're different. But in Jeppe, everyone's different. And they make it known from when you walk through those gates. You're different, but you're the same because we're all different.
And it's okay to be different.
It's okay, yeah.
It's good to be different.
It's good. So if someone came to us and said they were being bullied, we'd just go talk to that person. And if they carried on, we'd just report it. And it would be dealt with like immediately. Our school's very quick when it comes to bullying.
Okay, so school plays a big role in that to get it stopped, basically. And bottom line is, don't keep quiet. Talk. Even if you come and talk to another friend or peer, let's get it out there.
Yeah.
And let's cut it right there and then. Okay, gents. Alcohol, drugs, vaping. What am I missing? Gambling.
Gambling, yeah.
Alcohol, drugs, vaping, gambling. Okay. Is a real thing in schools.
Yeah.
There's social pressure around it.
Mm-hmm.
How heavy is that on the kids at the moment? I've noticed with my daughter and her friends and stuff that drinking's not such a big thing anymore, funny enough.
That's not. It's weird,
Which is amazing. It's great. Like, I remember when I turned 18, all I wanted to do was have my first beer or have my first vodka when I turned 18. But it's not like that anymore. And I've noticed, not just with her friends. They want to go join run clubs and stuff like that. So take me through the environments that you guys see. And I'm sure there is still people out there.
Yeah.
I know vaping's a big thing at schools. I don't know if it's better than cigarettes or not, but I mean, when I was at school, we'd go hide behind the tuck shop and smoke cigarettes. Now it's the vaping. It can happen anywhere, any place. Easy to hide. Smells nice. It doesn't stink. So yeah, take me through those social pressures and the boys and how they're dealing with that.
I feel like it's peer pressure isn't like it isn't a textbook definition where it's like a group of people being like, oh, you need to drink that, like, or smoke that. No, it's more like, and I've been there. I've been in an environment where peer pressure was prevalent. You go to a party, you're just there with your friends. Everyone's drinking. No one's telling you to drink. You just feel like, well, I'm empty-handed, and like maybe I should drink. It's inside your head. It's not. No one's forcing you, and I think that also stems from, am I strong enough? Do I have the self-confidence to be like, it's fun, they're drinking. I'm just here to have fun, right? I'm here to make sure my friend's safe, or like just that confidence. But it's also the environment. Like if your friends are going drinking every week, eventually you're going to have a drink. Eventually you're going to go with them.
You are who you hang around with.
Exactly. If your friends are joining run clubs, you're going to start running. So it's just the people you put yourself around.
Jared, has it died down, the whole alcohol thing in the schools?
So, in my experience, no.
Okay.
I know a lot of people like my age, a year younger than me, a year older than me, that are still go to clubs, drink and everything. And I feel as if that, like, as you said, your daughter and her friends, they don't drink, like, they're not as excited to drink. Like, they don't really are keen on drinking. I feel like nowadays, parents are a bit more lenient if you drink at home. So I know with my parents, with my brother, when he was like around 16, they were like, yo, no, you can have a drink, but at home or with the parents around that I trust. And since with that, they probably got so used to alcohol that like, it's just, it's another thing. Like, I'm not really excited about it anymore. I know vaping is also a very big one. I know a lot of people that vape. It's insane. And vaping is actually more dangerous than cigarettes because it fills your lungs up with water. But with the peer pressure, I feel it's also like an online thing as well, where you see people go out having drinks, you see people vaping, you see people doing this, you see people doing that, and
The
you
good
feel
life.
left out. Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel left out. You're like, but I want to do that. I want to go have fun. But you don't realize that it's actually destroying yourself. Like I think it's like alcohol or something that actually like bleaches your brain. I know Jägermeister is a big one that it typics your brain. It damages you, and then also another thing. Some people use alcohol as a form of coping with their mental health, which also isn't really a good thing at all. So, yeah.
Yeah, what do you think drives teenagers to experiment with things that aren't allowed
I just think
or are not healthy?
I think the fact that they're not allowed, right?
Having rules.
Like I remember when I was a kid, right? My mom was like, "You're not allowed cereal. You're not allowed cereal." When I went to my grandparents' house, they asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I said, "I want a box of cereal." When I had that box of cereal, it felt like I was on top of the world. And then I went to my friend's house, and he had like cereal everywhere. I'm like, "Bro, how are you not like excited to wake up in the morning?" And he's like, "Oh, it's just another thing." But I think the fact that, especially underage drinking, the fact that, oh, I'm having a beer, this is cool. But when you're like 25 and you're having a beer, it's like, oh, whatever, just a beer, you know. It's just the fact that like mindset of, oh, this is not allowed. It's like that like excitement of doing it.
Yeah, so it's the same thing as what's the saying? You want more what you can't get.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
And it's the same thing if parents don't allow their kids to go out, they're going to sneak out
Exactly.
at 1 o'clock in the morning or etc. What's a healthier way to handle stress or fitting in instead of going down those routes of alcohol, drugs?
So it's different for everyone. Like talking about it is probably the easiest. Okay, but
And everyone can do it.
Everyone can do it, but not everyone wants to. So I know a lot of my friends, they go to the gym. They don't talk about it, but they gym. And you can just tell, like, being around them when they're gymming and just relaxing. Okay, some people go on runs, some people listen to music, like Jared said. Different ways. I think just to make sure that you don't go overboard. Like with gymming, you can get addicted to it, which isn't a bad thing, but any addiction isn't a good thing, you know? But it isn't the worst addiction to have.
Okay. An addiction is very close to my heart.
Yeah.
Being 8 years clean now is gambling.
Congrats.
My first interaction with your school was because of the boys, the call.
Mm-hmm.
You turn 18, now you're legal to get onto these websites and gamble.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's chat a bit about that. How are these boys actually getting help? Because these games are a problem. They're on all the sports betting sites. I've had a parent reach out saying my son's stealing money from me already at the age of 18 to gamble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is where it starts, and this is where that hole gets deeper and deeper and deeper. It doesn't feel like it's getting deeper, but it will eventually.
I think I'm not a professional, and so I don't have the tools now to help me to give advice. But what I would say is just getting them to admit that they have a problem. I think that's always the first step in any addiction. Just letting them, not letting them know, but them admitting, I have a problem and I need to fix it.
But at 18 years old, though, how do you go to your parents at 18 and say, Dad, I'm gambling? I mean, I couldn't do it as an adult.
I think it has to stem from within. So 18 years old is a very difficult place to be in. But if you're getting pressured from your family, like we know you're stealing money and constantly putting them in that position, eventually something's gonna snap inside of you. Like I remember Richard Lasky, you know him. Yes. He spoke about his alcoholism, and the change for him was when he was in hospital and he saw this is the state I'm in. This is bad. I need to change. And from that moment he was clean. And that's just crazy because you need that spark almost, that like catalyst to start that reaction of like getting rid of it. But that's a very hard thing to find, especially when you're like so like addicted to it. It's hard. Like I don't even know because it's not something I've dealt with, thankfully. But it just
Yeah. Do you think the gambling age should be changed? The legal age to gamble?
I think so, because we had an assembly once where we were speaking about your front lobe in your brain, and the reason why a lot of your insurance or rates drop down when you're 25 is because that lobe actually fully develops when you're 25, and that lobe helps you think between logically and emotionally. And I feel if you were to put the age for gambling a bit higher, I feel like that would help a lot, because I know a lot of boys when they turn 18 or like even now 17, they're gambling because they want money. I feel like we're in a world where it's so hard to get a job or to be employed that the employment rate just keeps going up and up and up. And boys are scared, or girls, or even like anyone, they're all scared because they want to have money. They don't want to end up on the side of the road. They don't want to be broke. They don't want to live in their parents' house forever. They want to have their own income. So I feel some people turn to gambling because it's a quick way to get money.
Quick fix.
Yeah, but then they don't understand the risks of it, of losing all of that money and getting into serious debt. So I feel if they just hired that age for gambling, like 22 or 24, I feel like that could help a lot, because then you think more logically, and then you like do it once and you're like, okay, you know what, it's actually boring. I mean, like I've lost 100 rand. You know, I'm not taking that risk anymore, because you think more logically.
So you said you know of boys that are gambling at the age of 17. How are they getting that right?
I feel like they use their siblings' details or like something like that.
Yeah.
But I know, like for example, in schools. So now at JP we have a phone policy where we're not allowed our phones between 7 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. So the whole school day. And a lot of boys have resorted to playing card games. So like BS, and then poker's a big one, and blackjack's a big one. A lot of boys
like
love
during
playing
break,
that.
sitting in a circle type of vibe?
Yeah,
or?
sort of thing like that.
Wow, okay.
And it's small groups. It's very small groups of boys. But I feel like that's where it also could grow there. And then they're like, you know what, I actually want to try it out. And then they start trying it out, and then they get addicted. But it's, again,
And the
also
problem
a small
is,
ratio.
like, I was thinking, what's the school doing about it? But when the school comes and approaches them, they go, we're playing Rummy Cup. We're not gambling, sir, or we're playing Snap. I don't know. Or like, sure, yeah. I think that's a little bit of a problem. And yeah, I think a lot of people, we need to start talking about that more.
Yeah.
Because I actually think that is worse than drinking right now.
No, it is.
And that's the new problem in the schools, not becoming an alcoholic anymore, not becoming a gambling addict.
But I feel with the boys playing like blackjack or poker in class or like at break, I feel like the one advantage we can really concentrate on is that boys will then sort of see what the risk is of gambling, but not actually risk their own financial status. Then they'll actually be like, you know what, this game's actually risky, and then they'll actually decide, you know, you know, I'm not going to do it. Like, again, it's you versus you. Like, it's for you to decide what you're going to do.
Yeah. No, it's a problem. But we're looking into it also from the Endure Edge side in the new year.
Yeah.
We're going to be spending some time at a lot of schools. We're going to be doing school tours.
That's good, yeah.
And talking to the boys, the 17-year-old and the 18-year-old boys in all the different schools. So that is a plan from that. So hopefully that stems and grows from there. So being a teenager or being a high school student is not easy, okay, for various reasons. One of them could be loneliness. You feel hopeless as a teenager. I'm sure you guys, being involved in this project, see signs from other kids. When you see those signs, what do you guys do?
I know, so the other guy, Noah, who started it with Milan, he told us that his mom said that the goal, your goal for every day should at least make someone smile. And I feel...
I love that.
And I feel that caring for someone is quite important. So when we see someone who's not really doing well, or who we know is normally happy but who's quite upset, we would go to them and say, listen, what's up? If they don't want to talk, then that's fine. I mean, not everyone wants to talk. But then we just try secure them, say, you know what, I'm here for you, but like everyone's here for you. You're not alone. There's people also going through this, like, trust me, not alone. And then we try to build it more of like a trust bond between us, and then try get them to open up.
Eventually it will just open up.
And if we see a boy who's really struggling, then we take them to ma'am.
Okay.
Or, you know, to a psychologist and say, listen, you know, he needs help.
Okay. How do you support a friend, your direct friends who come and open to you emotionally and say, this is happening? In your case, my parents are separating. My dad's an alcoholic. My mom's gone to rehab. How do you support those friends? Because those friends are listening and watching now. And one of them might need that support, but they don't want to open up to you because they feel embarrassed. They feel they're going to be belittled maybe, or you're going to judge them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you are, but that's how they feel.
Or being a burden.
I mean, adults feel that way. I don't. Sometimes I'm scared to talk to my wife about something because I don't want to feel less manly. Yeah, take me through that.
I feel like it just takes time. Like, you can't force it. When you push and you force, it just causes them to move back and retreat. When they're ready, they will open up. Okay. But also, when they do open up, I'm not going to say don't give them advice. Advice is good, but listen. Just listen to what they say. Don't talk, just listen to them.
Don't preach.
Because when I was talking to like my friends, when I talked to them about like what happened to me, I hate it when I don't hate it, but let's say they compare their lives to mine. And what's annoying is, well, it's not annoying, but what can be annoying is I'll look at them and be like, oh, but your life is so nice. But I don't even know what they're going through. And they don't know the full extent of what I'm going through.
Yeah.
It's just perspectives. And I feel like to try and compare, like my problem, even though it could be a huge thing, like, I don't know, my parents split, but his, like bunny died, okay? To him, that's
Huge.
like world ending. That's huge for him. But for me, this is also huge. I feel like if he says, oh, I understand how you're feeling, like, it's sad, my bunny died. And I'm like, mate, I'm talking about my parents splitting. And he's like, no, but I understand. I think it's, again, empathy versus sympathy, which is a very important, the difference is important.
Yeah.
And I think once you learn that, you'll be able to deal with those situations better.
What's something every student should know about reaching out for support?
It's closer than you think. Like, it's very close. Like, you could turn around and it'll be right in front of you. I just think you have to look for it. It's kind of like that analogy when you buy a red car, you see a bunch of them. When you need help, you can't ignore the signs, but when you notice that, oh, your friend's going to help, you'll be like, there's actually so many like avenues to go through. So, yeah.
What you've done in the school, what you guys are doing, all you and your friends with this project is obviously making a huge impact. Okay. Without naming anyone, what's the moment you realized your project and the work you do actually mattered?
When I started, right, I wasn't a prefect, I wasn't head boy, I didn't have a title. And I was fine with that. I was happy with that. But when they were choosing, you obviously feel like, oh, well,
Could have been me.
Could have been, you know. But it was the head boy from when I was in grade 8. So my grade 8 head boy, okay, who every grade 8 looks up to. He's like, wow, this big guy. But standing next to him now, he's like the same height as me. But when I interviewed him,
He didn't grow much.
When I interviewed him for the first time, after the interview, he shook my hand. He's like, even though you're not a prefect, this will mean a lot more than you being a prefect. There will be a lot of prefects, but this project starting is important because you started it. I think that kind of like, I'm like, this is important, not only to me, but to the school, to my generation. This can help so many people. And that kind of like flipped the switch in me.
Yourself, Jared?
So a lot of my friends are very supportive on this project. And I had a friend who was going through something and I didn't know about it. They didn't tell me anything. And the one day I get a message and it's a video that we posted. And they commented about it saying, this video actually really helped me understand what I'm going through or help me figure out how I can actually, get a better, stronger mindset or, like better my situation I'm in. And I was quite pleased with that because I came in knowing that I want to help people. I want to do good. I want to spread it around schools where Project Easy is not just a Jeppe thing. It's a South African thing even.
Yeah.
And where other schools can also join in and share their input, intake, and also have their own little projects and things like that. And that just shed light on how our videos really do make an impact and really do send messages to people and really show them, like speaking isn't bad, it's good. You need to speak. Yep. You need to go through it.
So it's a new year.
Yeah.
Kids are all in their new grades. They're getting put in classes, maybe with their friends, maybe not. The stress is starting to build up, especially with the older boys, the matrics. It's not an easy year. That's stressful. The grade 11s, like you said. I know it's a hell of a hard year. What small habits would you say should be in place for all the students, not just in JP, in all the other schools that are going to watch? Their parents are going to make them watch this. Please make them watch. What small habits do you think should be in place for this new year?
I think just not like school habits, like, oh, make a timetable, pack your bags, like not like that, but more mindset wise, I think don't make it bigger than it is. Right. I'm done with school, but it was a blur. I remember grade 10, I was rushing to, I got new subjects, like, oh, I got all these books. Now I'm done with school. I'm like, what did I do that year? Like, what did I do? Just enjoy it, because school may seem stressful now, but some of your best memories are going to be from that time. So I think just take every day as it comes. Yeah.
Jared, any wise words from you there?
I feel like the best thing you can do is, what I would personally do is like set goals. It doesn't have to be around school.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be something that's intense. It can just be a simple goal, like making someone smile every day, or a weekly goal, monthly goal, smart goals. I feel like that's something important because it gives you a purpose. You need a purpose in your life. So I feel setting goals for yourself is a really big thing, because it creates a sense of purpose.
What changes, and I want you both to answer this, what changes would you like to see in schools? Not JP, schools, okay, in general, when it comes to men's mental health, young ladies' mental health, because it's just as important. What changes would you like to see in the schools?
I feel like coming together. I know with the GBV thing, a lot of people came together. Women-based violence, a lot of people came together. I feel what schools could do is come together and really make something happen to promote it, like a petition or just something, or have like a thing where go on outings and like you really learn a lot of valuable life lessons regarding mental health. Because people don't understand how important your mental health is. It's what drives you every day. It's what forces you to wake up every morning. You only have one brain. You only have one mental like thing in your body, which is your brain. And people don't understand that. And I feel as if everyone comes together, everyone gets a good understanding of what mental health really is and how they can cope and how they can help. I feel like that's a big thing that schools can do, is always just come together and promote it.
Milan?
So I think what I want to see from Project Easy, because it's important to me to see these guys grow, but something interesting that Nikita told me is that school psychologists have like a group chat, and when something bad happens, like a student passes away, they go to that school, like all of them, they go to that school and they counsel, they look after all the other students. But I think what could be cool, okay, is if each school had like a team or Project Easy. It doesn't have to be called Project Easy, just a team that's surrounding mental health. And when like maybe have like a I don't know, like a tiny conference of like just collaborating, talking about different ideas, because men's mental health and females' mental health are very different. Okay, men, okay, they want to. Okay, this is what women first. Women want to feel heard. They want to feel listened to. They want to feel acknowledged. Men just they want to have a purpose. It's I don't want to say it's that simple, but it really is. Like when a man doesn't have a purpose, he's lost.
There's nothing.
Exactly. So I think even Nikita was saying she normally counsels boys, but when she had to counsel girls, she said it was very different. Like when one girl, like group counseling sessions, boys will like pat each other's backs, like it's okay, man. Girls, like when a girl cries, the entire group surrounds that girl. They're like until she's fine, then they carry on. So I think to share those perspectives, those differences, can make that mental health awareness a lot stronger, just because it's different and how to deal with certain situations.
I'm going to switch the question a bit now. Same type of question.
Okay.
Give the parents out there advice listening. From kids to parents, what would you say? And both of you, I want you both to answer again, putting you both on the spot. What would you say we should do differently as parents? Because at the end of the day, we all make the same mistakes as parents. We're not perfect. It's hard for us. We don't want to see bad on our kids. We want to see them succeed. And most of all, we don't want to see them suffer mentally and emotionally. Give us some advice, please.
I feel so. A lot of parents are like, a lot of the older parents are like, a lot of like, get over it, or deal with it. You have to be strong. You have to deal with it. But I feel like a lot of parents don't understand that. Yes, times back then when you were a child were very tough, and I'm not saying they weren't. Like I knew they were, but nowadays it's a bit more because we have social media, we have AI, we have a lot more things that can affect us. So I feel what parents can do is rather, instead of expecting their child to just get over it or to just try to deal with it, rather sit there and listen. Like as Milan said, don't speak, just listen. Give advice, yes, but listen. I feel like listening is a very important thing with households, because not a lot of parents listen. They normally just assume and just go on with their day, and like you'll get over it, it's not that big. But to the child, it is. So I feel like a lot of parents can just listen to what their child has to say.
I love that. Thank you, Jared.
I think patience is very important, but also understanding that as much as they're your child and you want to look out for them and you want to like tell them this is wrong, this is right, they're a person too. And I feel like if you go at it an aspect of they're a person, okay, obviously not like go up to a 5-year-old and have like a full mature discussion and a debate. I mean, like 16, I've just talked to them because they're also learning, right? Just as much as a parent, you're also learning. They're learning with you, because no one knows everything. But if you just talk to them like a person, you both can communicate better. It's not like, because I know with my mom, when I was 16, she would tell me like, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. I'll be like, but why? And I feel like as teenagers, we have all these massive questions. We have like these crazy questions that we don't even know the answers to. And it's very discouraging, especially when you're asking your parents, like, why is this the way it is? Like, and your parents are like, I don't know, just it is what it is. And it can be frustrating. So I think just communicating, even like a parent saying, I don't know, that speaks volumes, because it's like, okay, well then maybe we can learn together, can understand together.
Boys, Milan, Jared, thank you for being real today. Thank you for being so honest and open,
Of course.
and talking about this.
Yeah.
Let's break that stigma.
Yeah.
Let's speak up. What you guys are doing with the project is amazing. Milan, I know you letting it go
Yeah.
now, and it can't be easy.
Oh, my baby.
It's your
God.
baby. I can see the passion you got behind
Yeah.
it. But Jared, make a promise to Milan right now on this podcast that you will grow this thing and it'll be stronger than what it ever has been.
Yeah,
Because
I
that's all
promise
this boy wants. I can feel it. I can see it. To everyone listening, let's take care of our minds. Let's talk. You've heard it from the future of our country sitting here. Speak up, talk. Don't be scared of therapy. The young boys have learned therapy is working. And therapy comes in different formats. Exercise, speaking to a psychiatrist, psychologist. Let's get out there and talk.
Yeah.
You boys keep doing what you're doing. Milan, all the best
Thank
for
you.
your
Thank you.
future.
Yeah.
I don't know, we haven't spoken about what's coming
Yeah.
up, but I've got no doubt whatever it is, you're going to kill it out there.
Yeah.
Keep making Jeppe proud.
Yeah.
Jared, keep doing what you're doing, bud. You going to matric, eh?
Yeah.
It's a lekker year. Enjoy it. Trust me, enjoy it because what's coming afterwards is a whole new ball game. You got this. Gents, thank you so much for today. I really appreciate it.
Thank
Your
you.
time. Go and enjoy what's left of everything. I know varsity only starts in Feb?
Feb, yeah.
You go smash the matric here. Thanks, guys. We're out.